Hi, I'm Mary Dillinger from the Northern Arizona VA Healthcare System, and this is the Veterans Views and News. And I have with me today some of the people from our Whole Health program. So I have Kristy, Jen, and Lu. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
So, Whole Health. I know there's a lot of veterans out there that maybe don't really know what Whole Health means, and I'd love to kind of share some information to let our veterans and even our staff know what Whole Health is and how we are using it to help our veterans with everyday life.
So Whole Health is a health approach, and it actually started a couple years ago, and it was mandated by the President this January 2018 for it to be integrated through the VA, through all the VAs. And so our committee, which I became a part of 2 years ago, decided that we were going to approach it in a different manner. Instead of first approaching it with the veterans, we did it with our employees, just so that they would have a better understanding of what Whole Health is. So we did that, and this year we had a festival, a Whole Health Festival, back in September, and it was, I think, successful.
Yeah, it was good.
We had 38 vendors there. That's including departments from the VA.
That's still a really good number.
And in the community. Mother Nature didn't
Cooperate
that day, and so we had to have it inside, but the plan was to have it outside, which hopefully next year we will do that. We plan to have one every year. And we had almost 200 visitors come. That's including veterans, families, employees. It was for everybody. And basically what it was we had all these booths with information that pertained to whole health. So Whole Health is the health approach that the person takes charge of their own life.
Empowering them.
Their health and their well-being. And it recommends and encourages integrative therapies and medicines. So
did you have integrative, specialists?
Representation, yeah.
Yes, there that were to answer questions and kind of help with veterans or family members that
They even did demonstrations, especially the one group from, I think it was Sedona?
Sedona Meditation.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
That was really neat because she had this new gadget that I've never seen before, and really for the first time did belly button massage. Who knew you could massage your belly button? But she walked us through it, and actually I would say it was energizing. She was really, really awesome. It was kind of a funky little thing, but
how did you find like representatives like that? That must have taken your group, that research must have taken probably the longest out of everything.
A lot of outreach.
Yeah, it's a lot of networking and referrals from just staff, from employees. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, I heard about this program. Why don't you reach out to them? I mean, we had horses, we had dogs, we had painting. There's art through self-care. There's so many things out there that our veterans don't know about.
Right. So, Tai Chi, yoga.
So Tai Chi, yoga, and aromatherapy as well.
Aromatherapy.
I was surprised that they were there as well, and giving samples to those who attended the fair, and that was really cool.
To help them see how it works. And
how it works.
At least do an introduction, because I think there's so many things out here in our community, and we're just not aware they're accessible. And the veterans aren't aware what's accessible. They're just used
what's
to
available.
Right, exactly.
Our employees aren't aware. I didn't know until all this that we had aromatherapy in the DOM.
Yes, exactly. So these are the kind of things we want the veterans to know, but I think we kind of, how you said that this program kind of was piloted in a way where it started with staff, I think that's a key. Because how can we expect veterans to learn about it if the staff isn't even aware that we have these services, that this is available to them, that they can come and learn about this, and it's that it can help their body, their mind, everything, every aspect of whatever a veteran's dealing with. I think it's great.
In addition to that, I think what's so powerful about Whole Health and what's important about staff being on board is that we're telling our veterans, hey, this is a new approach to your health care where you're the center of it. It all starts with me, where it's reflection and deciding maybe for the first time what their mission, their aspiration, and purpose is in life.
I like that idea because
that's
a
big.
lot of the veterans that I've met with over the years for different things, that's what they said. The purpose. They don't have purpose.
Right.
Right.
So
Well, when
if you
you're
give them purpose,
and you're in the military, you're told what your purpose is, you know. And I think when President Trump first, correct me if I'm wrong, sent out the directive this year, it was really aimed for those veterans who were newly discharging and separating. Well, they weren't veterans yet, but active duty. And those people, you know, there's like a gap. There's, you know, well, what do I do now? And
to their transition.
exactly
No, it
to
is-
transition,
it is.
and now we're opening it up to all veterans and even staff and family members. But I think what's really important, we're teaching this new paradigm of healthcare where we want you to be the driving force, to sit down and really reflect and figure out what you want, what's important to you, and then take that to your provider. Well, that's all well and good, but if your provider is not aware what whole health is, or your treatment coordinator, and they don't understand, then you're going and you're having a conversation that doesn't flow. So everybody has to be on board. So if you're trying to make something it's really a monumental change in how to approach
because-
healthcare.
as you said, the primary care team needs to be aware what whole health can offer, so that if as a patient I go in and I say, there was a fair I went to back in
Right.
September, and there was aromatherapy. How can I do that? And the primary care says,
We don't have aromatherapy, yeah.
Well,
So
we actually, I belong to the primary care, so the primary care knows a little bit about it now, and I offer whole health coaching to primary care. And I've already been getting referrals from other primary care nurses referring those patients who have like chronic pain or those who want to lose weight to do whole health coaching. And the first step with whole health coaching, because it's composed of 4 stages. The first part of the stage is the map. We call it map. It's just like what Kristy said, it's for the vet to know his mission, his aspirations, and his purpose. And then I always tell the vet that this whole health coaching is all about you. It's about what matters most to you. That's why when I give this, I don't know if I can show this to you. This is what we call the personal health inventory. The vet will sign this form here, and he will rate his self as to where he is right now currently with his stages in health, like how he sleeps and how he eats, those kinds of things that he does that affects his health. As soon as he completes this form, and then we go over the whole health coaching, and the beauty of that is that's when he discovers his mission, aspiration, and purpose. And after that, the coaching goes there, and that will empower him to go to his goal, not my goal, not the doctor's goal, but his goal, because he's the center of care. So his goal about his health is his driving force. And then I have a vet one time that said, oh, I feel like everything is wrong. And then when I feel this out, and I had the first session with you, she told me that, well, I figure out and I found out that life is not that bad at all. Because she discovered that she has the power to do things, to change things with her health. So this is what it is all about, to focus on the person, what they can do, what they're strong at, what their strengths and what their visions are for their health.
What really matters to them.
Mm-hmm.
and what they're capable
Of doing.
And as you said, she did it, and I guess in her mind she must have felt as though she couldn't,
maybe overwhelmed.
and just by filling out something that asked her these exact questions, gave her that feeling that you know what, maybe I am in more control than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just here to support you and coach you. Like what Lu does, she coaches. So we're not problem solving for them. They're solving it.
They're doing it
themselves.
themselves, but you're
Right.
you're
We're
just kind of walking them in the
providing
right
the
direction
support.
to
Right.
get them to see it.
Setting it up.
So it's just coaching. They are the driver of their health. So I just want to point out the difference within the last approach and this new approach. The previous approach is, what's wrong with you? How can we treat you? This approach is, what matters to you? What can you do? It's kind of like they're different, but we're still treating them because treatment with a provider, it's part of whole health. It's one part of it because there's like 4 components of whole health. The doctor side is one part of it, and empowering them is also one part of it. So it's kind of like an integrated.
You add it to an already existing program, still maintaining the healthcare side of it. We're making sure
Exactly.
that they get their annual checkups and they talk to their doctors about whatever, blood pressure issues or whatever they might be having, but it's still at the same time asking them as a person, not as a patient, as a person.
Yes.
What do you need?
Yes.
What do you want? What are you hoping to accomplish? Do you have a goal? Do you maybe have something coming up that you are hoping to take part in and to do what you need to focus on something or so that makes a lot of sense. It really does.
And what's really great about the form that Lou held up, the personal health inventory, is it's just a front and back. It's really easy, but it causes you to take time to stop and reflect. The way the questions are worded, you just rate yourself from 1 to 5, where you think you are now, in a couple of different areas, whether it's emotional, physical, I think the other one is maybe cultural or spiritual. And then after you do some talking about those, you flip it over to the other side, and then there's 8 different components of the whole health wheel, and it goes through all of those. Nutrition, exercise, sleep, restoration, community, relationships, and they rate themselves where they are. From 1 to 5, 1 could be, really poor, and 5 could be exceptional. And I always feel like it's really important to add the caveat that it's got to be realistic. I mean, we all might want to be a 5 in all these areas, but is that really realistic? Because it's got to be a goal to where you can actually reach
Something
it.
achievable.
Yeah, and it just kind of sifts it down. It's like a gold panning, kind of just sifts it down, and when what comes to the top is maybe what they're struggling with at that moment. And I think with whole health, and then it goes on to Take Charge of My Life and Health, which is another program associated with it. They learn the tools on how to make SMART goals. Not just a goal, not a vague like, I want to lose some weight. No, but you want to lose how much and
how much time.
It's accountability. And then we teach them how to develop action steps to reach those goals. And I think I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. This happens all the time.
Well, and Kristy is a peer facilitator.
Right.
She's a veteran herself. And there's 3 of them. There's Ray Barrett and Craig Mickelson and Kristy that are.
Is Tim doing it anymore?
Tim Howe.
Tim Howe. There's kind of 4 and a half.
4, yeah. He's doing my Healthy Vet right now, but yes, he's also a peer facilitator. And they're the ones that do the introduction to whole health. So if there's a veteran, a family member, an employee that's interested in learning more about it, that's her class.
We do a 2-hour introduction. It's offered twice a month. We've only had 1 taker, though, for that.
Well, this is one of those things where it might be.
This is really great.
new.
It's going to take time.
People aren't aware of it,
Yeah.
and they might have seen it, and they don't know what exactly it means.
But now we have a captive audience. So Ray Barrett was instrumental in getting us set up over at the Dom. So we're a part of the domiciliary intake. So every Monday, I go over there from 10 to 12, and I've got an audience that must attend. And actually, the response has been outstanding. I get such great feedback from those men and women over in the domiciliary. And I think it says a lot about them because they've got so much coming at them first when they first come and get their introductions. But everybody has been like, wow, this is really true, and have been participating. So I think that speaks highly.
Yeah.
So I really like the introduction to whole health because they're teaching the vets how to take charge. And that's one component of the whole health. So I really like that one.
And what's great after that is just really a like I said, an 1.5 to 2-hour introduction. And then if they want more, if they want more support, they want to work on it a little in depth, we have Take Charge of My Life and Health. And that class is held weekly, and I just facilitate. I don't really teach. It's not a counseling session. It's not to solve all your problems. It's really a facilitation where we just talk and encourage and work through a booklet that's standardized. So we're all teaching, kind of facilitating the same thing, and we just go week by week and we break it down to a 9-week session. So it's more in depth. If that doesn't float their boat, there's coaching that Lu and her husband Samuel, that they provide. There's also, I think eventually we're going to be looking at one-to-one peer support. So this program is growing so that it can reach different veterans, different needs. Some people do better with one-on-one. Some people want a classroom. Some people want maybe telehealth. We'll look into eventually incorporating some telehealth so we can reach those men and women. I mean, we have such a rural community here
We do.
that they can call in and experience that support that's available to them as long as they want, and we're there for them. But it's really up to them.
I actually offer phone coaching for those who live in like 100 miles away or 60 miles away, but no takers yet.
Well, we'll try to get the word out.
Yeah.
'Cause I know we do have our veterans out at Lake Havasu, Kingman,
Sure, yeah.
Cottonwood, that there isn't anybody from Whole Health out at those locations, but maybe if they get the word of this, they might be calling you, Lou, and say, okay, I want to do a phone one, or a telehealth,
Absolutely.
so that if they are maybe not the one-on-one kind of people and they rather maybe have a group setting.
Yeah, or
telehealth.
difficulty getting transportation. That's a huge,
Yes, transportation
yep,
is
a big issue
one of
for
the
our
things
veterans.
that kind of holds up, I think, a lot of our veterans from attending certain events and activities. And if there's a way that they can participate without physically needing
Exactly.
a ride, we might have more higher attendance.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we can use CVT, the video, televideo, to reach those clinics. The community-based clinics, the rural clinics. That'll be in our plan this year, is to really reach out to those other outside clinics.
So they can
outside
also,
the Prescott
Exactly.
VA.
so they can also enjoy
participate. Sure.
all the
Yeah,
other
the benefits in that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the whole health wheel, I've seen it everywhere. And I do know what it is because I work at the hospital and I'm familiar with it, but I'm sure that we do have a lot of staff and veterans that don't really know what it means or what everything is incorporated inside the wheel. But the center of it, regardless if you know what anything about
Right.
the wheel is, you can't miss it. The
That's-
center of it actually says me.
Me, that's the big
That's the
take home.
bet.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Yes,
veteran.
and that's and I love that it has that, and that everything else is in smaller text, and the me is larger, just to show you that is truly the focus. Maybe you might not understand all these other things, or be working on these other things yet, but this one thing here, this is the most important. This is what we want you to see first and focus on. I think.
And along with
that's
the me
exactly-
too,
that's
I
key.
think is accountability for yourself. Instead of maybe laying blame on all the providers and things that aren't happening, I think it's important for us to take a moment and say, where am I on this? And we're accountable for our own health as well. And when you give that accountability back, it's kind of refreshing. They go, oh, I hadn't really thought about what I want. And it's so powerful. And then if we can get the veterans to even write that down, we even have pocket. It's like a little pocket reminder where they can write their goals down and check things off that they can bring to their provider. How many times do you go to the doc and you're like, oh my gosh, I had all these questions.
And then you
And I can't remember. It's like going to the grocery store. I didn't get the one thing I went there for. And that happens a lot. And it's easily accessible. They can just pop it out and oh yeah, this is what I'm working on, and show it directly to their provider. And if I was a provider, I'd be like, wow, this is somebody who's really interested in taking charge of their health, and let's get on the same pathway. So
No, I talked to many veterans, and the same thing. I've had many veterans say that they, meant to mention something to the provider. They'll come to one of the town halls or one of our events, and that's what they say. I only meant to talk to my provider,
Yeah.
but I forgot.
Dang
so, and it's fine. They come to the town hall, and that's what it's for. But I think every one of us, we do that. You have every intention of mentioning it, and you didn't write it down. So when you get in there and you're sitting there waiting, and they come up and you go blank.
be the whole reason you're there. You're like, oh my gosh.
I know exactly. And they walk in and they say hi, how you doing? And it's
Yeah.
gone. You lost it, and you're just like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good. Okay, yeah, and you walk out, and then it's not till sometimes not even till the next day that you're like, I was supposed to mention this.
Yep.
And as a veteran, I have, injuries that I am trying to, get looked at and fixed. And in the beginning, I was one of those stubborn ones. I just thought it would just go away. And I've had a lot of veterans I've talked about. They're like, well, I had this pain, but I thought it would just disappear. And maybe it will, but I still think it's good to maybe set a goal even for that. Okay, you have, your shoulder's bothering you. Well, if it's bothering you a week from now, then you have to go to doctors. Maybe
Right.
it is just you slept on it wrong, but you should, even for something little like that, set yourself a goal so it doesn't turn into you go see a provider for your annual, and it's been 3.5 months that you had this shoulder pain, and the doctor says, why didn't you come see me sooner?
And
I
on the
think
flip
everyone-
side of that, those who have been taking pain medications, I mean, the opioid crisis is huge, and everybody's talking about it, and some veterans feel like they, all of a sudden, their provider's cutting them off of their pain medication, because, we have an issue, there's a problem. And to realize that there's actually maybe some alternatives that you can do that you might not need as much pain medication. And medication in general, what usually happens, you take one pill, you have a side effect, so before you know it, you have a bucket of all
Because
these
you have
medicines.
you have to take another medication.
It's just a
to counteract
cascade effect,
That
yeah.
side effect from that first
But if you
one.
can do something, whether it's mindful meditation, mindfulness is a huge part of whole health, and we
have
teach
that on a
mind.
weekly basis, don't we?
We do.
Every Thursday.
But we also teach it in the classes, and we use it during Take Charge of My Life and Health, and can refer. I think it's George. I can never pronounce his last name. George. Yeah, George does. Yeah, he does that on. I know by order, physician order, and also he has it for the campus on Thursdays, and it is proven. I mean, there's evidence based behind it.
Yes.
Proven how effective it can be, and that doesn't take any money.
He even said just for relaxing.
Yeah.
Some people, it's not physical pain. It's not
No.
that you have an injury of some sort. It's
Anxiety,
relaxing your
PTSD.
mind.
Yes.
Yep.
A lot of people said they have trouble falling asleep at night and they can't figure out why.
Right.
That is supposed to help relax the mind so that your mind can also get tired, kind of in line with your body when it's time for
Exactly.
you to
It's
go
just
to
about becoming aware of the moment. And it's great
Mindful
because
awareness.
it's mindful. It doesn't cost any money, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it laying down, sleeping, standing, while you're waiting in the grocery line. You're frustrated because the person in front of you is taking forever to check out. And it's really, I think, a key to a lot of answers. And we can do just breathing properly. Taking some deep breaths can be.
So she
Important.
mentioned about it's evidence-based, right? I have one patient actually who came to my clinic and said he was a new patient. That was like last year, and he said, "Well, I'm doing mindfulness through the DOM, and then I'm in pain, but I don't need pain medication because it's working for me." And he said that the person who was facilitating that recommended an app in his iPhone that he can use for meditation.
There's
There-
an app
there-
for everything.
Yeah, there is.
And that
Yeah.
he can
Yes.
relax in.
You can do.
He
listen
doesn't
to it in
need
the
pain
car,
medication
or
at all
wherever.
because of that. And
Yeah.
I was so amazed when I knew that, because he was the first one that I've met who
But it's
used meditation.
seeing,
Yeah.
and I try to say that to our veterans. I try to tell our veterans if there's something that you've seen that you've done that works, you have to let us know. because
Share
that's-
it.
that-
Yes.
Yeah.
Sharing that information
Yes.
will help us to tell other veterans because we can only go off of what you tell us. Just like if something absolutely doesn't work, don't be ashamed to come up and say that. Sorry, it didn't work. Well, thank
Right.
you for sharing that. That way, we say, okay, this maybe this method isn't the best way. Let's try another, because that they are our audience and they are the people that we want to take care of and that we need to know. And that so it's perfect that he
Yeah.
came and actually told
And
us.
one
that he
one
was.
size doesn't fit all. Everybody's different. So what
They're-
works for
they're-
one doesn't work for another. But
That's
there's
what I love
Yes,
about
yes.
whole
Yeah.
health is because of that. Because I think whole health helps you realize that I am not you.
right.
Jen's
There's a
not
wide-
you.
yeah.
It's
Lou's not
personalized.
Jen.
There's a
And,
wide range of options.
and we all may have, let's say we all have knee pain. Well, I'm an Army vet, mine was from this. You were in the service as well, so yours is from this. Jen is because she injured herself as a kid, and Lou is because it's hereditary. Like, we all might have a knee pain.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's all the same
Right.
knee pain. So it might be for different reasons, and what works for you might not work for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what's good about whole health is that it is personalized to the vet's needs, and it's proactive and patient-driven. They're the ones driving the course of their health as to what goal they want to achieve.
I am so excited. I hope we have as good of a turnout for next year's festival that we had for
yeah.
Whole
Yeah.
Health. And I hope that more and more veterans contact you guys, especially you, so you can do the training. And I hope that more of our staff and our providers learn about it so that they
You can incorporate it.
can mention it. You know, if they have a patient that comes to see them who maybe is on medication and he says, Doc, I really want to get off the medication, but I don't know what option I have, that provider could say, you know what? I think maybe you should call Whole Health and try to set something up so we can see if there is another way. And I love that idea. I
Yeah.
really do. And I want to thank you guys all for being here.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having
having
us.
us.
That was
And I will
awesome.
have you on the show
Yeah.
again. And I
be
let
back.
the rest of the committee know that they are instrumental in what you guys do. And it has not gone unnoticed through the leadership and the rest of the staff. And so we really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
That was
Thank
great.
you for watching Veterans Views and News. Until next time.